Hi Pottery peeps. So I'm not sure what today's video is going to end up being. Okay, let me give you an update of what's been happening. So hubby is still on the road to recovery, but it's going to take a little longer. We saw the infectious disease guy on Thursday, and they think there's 2 different bacterial strains of infection. So they cultured that, sent out new antibiotics, and he's on an IV 3 times a day that we get to administer. So I get to get a crash course in IV maintenance, nursing, and no, I mean, this is so out of the realm of my comfort zone. I'm actually really overwhelmed about the whole thing. So this morning didn't go so great. We finally got it to work, but anyway, 3 times a day. So 6 a.m., 1 p.m., and 10 p.m. So not looking forward to the next 3 weeks. So that's what's going on with him. But update on my daughter. Last week, I told you she was due on June 10th, which is, today is Friday, June 9th, which is tomorrow. So after I uploaded the video and everything, I got a panic call. Her water had broke. I needed to run over there to stay with my other 2 kids that she's got. And she had a baby on June 4th at 2:08. She had a boy. His name is Riker. And if she's okay with it, I'll post a picture. Anyway, he's adorable. So that's been going on this week. New baby, her overwhelmed with 3 little kids, and me helping out when I can, getting meals and that kind of thing. Also, my birthday was this week. And one thing I do for myself, I challenge myself for my birthday. I throw myself a birthday pot. And I usually try to go big or do something that's out of the realm for my normal type of thing. And it's just for me. If it fails, it fails. If it works out, it works out. I'll take a picture of my Green Man pot that I made last year because it turned out amazing. And it's all planted up and looks beautiful and everything. But this year, I have always wanted to do a yard totem. And I actually want to do an installation. I want to do 3. But we're going to start with 1 and see how 1 goes. So I kind of, when I've been babysitting, I don't know if this will show up, I kind of been sketching. My sketching skills are not very good. So this is the one I'm going to start with. And these are all individual pieces. And they'll be on a piece of rebar covered by a PVC pipe. I also, when I get done with the 3 throne pieces, I want to do this fairy house piece with a mushroom base. I think that'll be super fun, but that's going to take a lot of time. And I need to keep my schedule as fluid as I can right now, because from one minute to the next, I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm not making any plans. You know, life really does have a 6th sense of humor. It just all happens at once, and I just got to flow with it. Also, another thing that happened last weekend, everything happened last weekend. I have a basement apartment. I have like a 1,600 square foot basement apartment, a really nice basement apartment, and my kids are taking turns living in it. Tess, who just had the baby, her little family was down there, and they lived in it for a few years to save up money so they could get a house. So now my son and his wife, they've been married roughly about 18 months. They've moved in last Saturday with their dog, their husky, Castiel. And Castiel is a rescue, so he has abandonment issues. So he's had a tough time, and I tell you, this dog has stolen my heart. But I've had to work with him a lot this week. Constant whining, doesn't want to be left. He's afraid of everything. And of course, I have 2 other dogs. Another Husky Malamute, Rinka, and then my little Civic Cocker Spaniel, who is super, super easy. I also have 3 cats, and Castiel really wants to get to those 3 cats. I just have bedlam. It's just bedlam. Right now, this morning, he's rolled in dog poop. We've given him a bath. I now have him in a kennel so that I can do this video for you guys. And then I will be back working with him this afternoon. But he's really a sweet dog, and I'll put a picture of him. I'll upload a picture of him. Anyway, so my life is just crazy. So I'm going to work on these individual pieces. Now I threw two on my actual birthday. So I threw this, which I was thinking was going to be the base, but I'm not real happy with it. I think I need to make it taller. I think I need another 8-9 inches. So I think I'm going to throw another piece, and I think I'm going to do that today. I've had this covered. I threw this on Wednesday. Today's Friday. Thank goodness for Wednesday class with Kate and Sandy, so I'm able to actually throw something on the wheel. And I did throw the donut circle piece. So I think what I'm going to do, and I'll set you up over the wheel, I think I'm going to add a collar and attach it to this. And then I'm going to add the pieces here. Then I'm going to have this be a separate piece, separate piece, separate piece, and then do some collars. I want it to be probably as tall as me. I'm 5'6". I want it fairly substantial. I want it to make a statement. I mean, this is a statement piece. And challenging, yet kind of fun, you know? I mean, do your own art installation in your yard. So I hope this inspires you guys to do this. I've wanted to do this forever. And I've actually told my kids too that they need to keep me on this side of tacky, because I have a feeling I'm going to do quite a few of these. And I want to make sure that my yard doesn't get too tacky. Anyway, so let me go ahead and set you up at the wheel, and we'll throw these other pieces. Let's see how far I get today before something else happens. I'm not asking, universe, if you're listening, I'm not asking for anything else to happen. You know, let's maybe have a few hours where I can just, you know, hit my zone and mellow out here in the studio. Because boy, do I need it. All right, let's set you up. I'm not sure how much clay I've got here. I just took clay off. I don't even want to think about measuring or doing anything. I am just going to keep this loose and go with whatever it is I end up with. I work best that way. If I'm too regimented or too, I got a little bug in my water, too mathematical or any of those, it just kind of ruins my flow. So I'm going to keep it loose. All right. I did measure with the calipers how wide I have to make this piece, and we'll just see what we end up with. Heck, I haven't even wedged this clay straight out of the bag. I'm pretty sure it's 6 to 7 pounds. I don't know if I'll use all of it or what, but I do plan to throw off the hump for some of the other collars and that kind of thing. So we'll just see what we can do. Get my wheel up to speed here. See what we can end up with. So you'll notice that anytime I have a large piece of clay, I will slap center it. That just helps get it where I want it to go. And then I'll have my elbow here locked into my hip. And then that arm never even moves. This is the only one that moves. This one just kind of keeps that clay. You ever watched Vaughn Smith on West Coveville Pottery? He has a wall next to him. I wish I did. But that would I'd have to move my wheel. But that's such a great idea to keep this arm stationary. This will help you the most with centering large bits of clay. I also will come with my thumb. A lot of you who throw, if you do that, this thumbnail you never have to cut. It just gets sanded down right there on that wheel. So I'm going to do this one more time. I'm pretty much centered. And if I end up with a little bit of a wonky piece, I'm going to go with the wonk. Because why not? Life is wonky. Alright, and I am going to open this all the way to the back because I'm going to add it to that other piece. So if you'll notice, my arms are locked into my hips and I'm pushing down like this. I want to make sure that clay's good and wet. So I want to keep that centered by pushing down like that. And then I'm pulling that clay out toward me. And I do have to make sure that I don't pull that out too far. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and anytime your clay grabs your hands, you're going to throw it off. So I don't really have to worry about water at this point because I don't have a bottom. Should worry about slowing down my wheel though. I'm not in the zone yet. I can just feel being overwhelmed and being anxious, and I know if I can just spend a few hours out here, it'll take care of that. Pottery's my therapy. Keeps me calm and keeps me positive and all of that. So when life gets hard, as long as I can get out here, I'm good. But with everything going on with my husband and then with my daughter and then with the dog, I haven't been able to get out here since Wednesday. Maybe I need to open up to more students so that I'm out here. Right now, I'm out here with students about 4 days a week. Maybe we need to make that 7 days a week because it's a job and people let you go to work. But if you don't have a student, they assume that you can do for them. Funny how that works. All right. But I'm happy I want to be with my daughter. That's not an issue. Now, my husband, love him. He's the worst patient in the world. And then, of course, everything he's going through is pretty stressful. So, he's stressed, which makes me stressed. You know how men are. They do not make good patients. Luckily, he can work from home. He's working right now. And Cass is spending some time out in the kennel after his impromptu bath this morning. All right, so my bottom's almost there, but I'm too thick. So, and I've got to be careful because my kiln I can only go 26 inches. And I'm probably close to 12 there. So we might have to cut some of this guy off. Unless I belly it out, but I don't know how that would look. So I'm gonna bring that in. I am trying not to throw. I tend to throw pretty thin. And I'm trying to be, this is going to be outside. And so I'm trying not to throw it too thin. because it's going to have to, and I probably should have chosen a different clay. This is B-Mix. I should have chosen a different clay. Something that might have been better for outside. And just keep looking over there at that piece and let's see. I should have brought my well, if it ends up being too tall, it'll just be a connection piece. And I won't connect the two. That's what I'll do. So I do want to take this in though. This to be more straight up and down, not flared out right there. If you bring in your wooden ribs when you're throwing large pieces, what they do is they compress those walls for you. They make them stronger so that you can get more time with your piece. Or if you start losing the wall on a piece, grab that rib and compress that wall, and you'll get it. A lot of times it will put it back to where you can save it. Okay. I got my metal rib, it's making a vibrating sound. Not conducive to relaxing out here. Add some more water here. My hand. Alright, hold on. I ended up putting some lines in there from the rib. Do that. There. That's probably where I want to be. I do have a lot of clay right there. So my design just might change. Since I want to do, eventually, I want to do like 3 of these. Actually, we're just going to let this piece be what it wants to be. Sometimes you just need to let the clay decide for you. Maybe this will be my middle piece. Some of my favorite studio days is when I just sit down at the wheel, no idea what I'm going to do, and just let the clay decide for me what it wants to be. I'm just going to get the slip off of here, and this might change because I want to decorate these pieces. So got it kind of thin here. I'm going to get the water out of the middle even though I'm open to the bat, I don't want a lot of excess water in there. And I might, since this is B-mix and now I've gotten it super, super soft, I might let it stiffen up and then come back to it again. We'll see. So this will probably be a multi-part video, especially since I don't know what life is going to be bringing me. I'm going to keep it all really loose, because the minute you start making plans, the universe decides to mess with you. At least that's been my experience. Okay. All right, I'm gonna let that stiffen up for a bit, and then I might play with it some more. That's one. All right, see if I can reach. Yeah, those two on top of each other would be too tall. But what I might do, that could be another piece. So the way I'm looking at these totems, they're just multiple pieces put together. So I've drawn out a picture, but chances are it's going to morph into something else, and that's okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and throw off the hump, and I'm looking to throw like these collars. I'm going to need a lot of those little collars. So I'll just leave that with me to kind of give me a place a reference point. Get my wheel up to speed here. A lot of you who've been watching for a while know that I'm from Alaska, and of course totems are pretty significant up there, pretty big. And eventually I wouldn't mind doing an animal totem, but we're going to start with this first. It's taken me a long time thinking about this project on what I wanted to do. Getting that little lump off of there. Totems actually they tell a story. They can welcome you to a village, or they can warn you away from one. There's a lot of great information about totems, with the Native Americans and Native Alaskans, the Haida and the Incat tribes. Alright, so since I'm focusing on collars on this one, I'm just going to throw a bunch of collars. So throwing off the hump, I just grab some clay and just work with this little knob of clay. I do want to make sure I don't get these too thin. Well, I think there's one. Go ahead and use that as, I kind of think I threw this one upside down. Yeah, go ahead and make that just a little bit. There we go. That's better. Ooh, that's pretty. Maybe I ought to go ahead and add some design in on this one. Let's give that a try. That'll be fun. Glaze will catch that and do something fun. Go ahead and make that back on center. I'm going to go ahead and put in a line for my wire. Dry off my hands. All right, one color that I'm happy with. Woohoo! All right, it's probably a little tall though. I need to focus on the collars for the circle because I actually need to trim that today. So let's make a small one. I figure the more collars I can make, if I end up busting one or whatever, then I've got all these collars. Alright, slow down my wheel. I can always tell when I'm anxious and going too fast. And I might just put you on hyperspeed. Just kind of zone out. I'm just losing it. So, what I just did there was create a gallery because I realized once I'd calmed down a little bit that in order to put a top on that other piece, I have to throw this upside down. This is the part that needs to go onto the other piece, and then I cut it off the bat. So what I just did there was to take my tool and kind of give it a gallery so that that other piece, it'll just kind of slot in there. I will go ahead and score, and I'll show you when I put them together. We'll see if it works. But you have a better chance of them not cracking in the kiln and becoming one piece by doing something like this. And so I've just taken You can take a little wooden knife or tool. You can even take your finger, but I didn't have quite enough clay there to do my finger. And then when this is stiffened up, I will show you how I'll add it to that other piece. Whew! That's probably 12 pounds of clay, but I'm going to use it to throw off the hump. Pieces. Maybe I'll add more pieces. I'll have to see as I start working with them. I do plan to decorate each piece. So this one is the one that's going to go on top of this one. And then I need to trim this guy and add some stuff to him. And then, I don't know, we'll see what we end up with. So, like I said, this is going to be more than one part. And you know what? I'd love it if you guys would join me. Why don't you think about throwing a bunch of pieces or hand building a bunch of pieces and building your own art installation in the yard or a pottery totem, and because I'd love to see it. I just think this type of project is super cool. No two are going to be the same, and that you could make each piece mean a story so that it tells a story, like the original totems, Native American totems or Native Alaskan totems. So yeah, so check back. I have no idea where I'm going with this, and we'll see what we end up with. All right, thanks for checking in, and hopefully next week will be a lot calmer. A lot more. I mean, we'll still be on the IV antibiotics for at least, well, 3 more weeks, so till July. And anyway, so yeah, thanks for sending all your prayers and healing thoughts. And best news, we got a new grandbaby, and life just keeps going on, right? And I got a new grandpup living with me, and he's super, super sweet. So have a great weekend and check back to see what we end up with. This could be a really fun project. Or this might be as far as I get. We'll see. Have a great one. Go get muddy if you can.